What will happen when a Marine veteran tries to board a flight with his family and beloved dog? The flight attendant refuses to let the dog on the plane, even with all the proper paperwork. As things get chaotic, the dog does something incredible that surprises everyone on the plane and leaves the flight attendant stunned. The story begins with Captain James Carter, a Marine veteran, at the airport with his devoted service dog, Riker. They were on their way to California for a long-awaited military reunion. However, their plans hit a snag when the flight attendant refused to let Riker board the plane. Despite James showing all the necessary paperwork, the attendant was adamant. Riker wasn't just a pet, he was a highly trained service dog who played a crucial role in helping James manage his PTSD. It was his legal right to have Riker with him, but the flight attendant stood firm. "You either leave the dog or none of you flies," the attendant declared, blocking their path to the plane. James was overwhelmed with frustration and helplessness. He had faced many battles in his life, but this was one he never anticipated, fighting for his right to have his service dog by his side. As the situation heated up, other passengers began to take notice. Among them was Rachel, a young journalist. She immediately started recording the scene with her phone, determined to bring attention to the airline's unfair treatment of a veteran and his loyal companion. Suddenly, Riker became restless. He tugged on his leash, pulling James away from the heated argument. Confused and surprised, James followed his dog, wondering what was wrong. Riker had always been calm and reliable, even in stressful situations. As they moved toward another gate, James saw the reason for Riker's agitation. A young girl was crying uncontrollably, separated from her parents. Riker, sensing her distress, immediately went to her side. He gently sat beside her, offering comfort with his steady presence. The girl's cries softened, and with Riker's help, James quickly located the frantic parents. They were immensely grateful and showered Riker with praise and treats for his kindness. The scene did not go unnoticed. Bystanders were touched by Riker's caring nature and began to see the true value of having a service dog. Yet, despite the heartwarming display, the flight attendant remained unmoved, continuing to refuse Riker's boarding. Just as James felt his frustration peak, a man in a sharp suit approached him. Introducing himself as Liam, an executive from a competing airline, he had witnessed the entire ordeal. Liam offered James and his family seats on their next flight and assured them that Riker would be treated with the respect he deserved. Still upset but grateful, James accepted the offer. With Liam's help, he, his wife Elizabeth, and their 3 children headed to the new gate. James clutched the new tickets, but anxiety still lingered. Given the chaos of the day, he wasn't sure what to expect next. However, as they boarded the new plane, the flight attendants immediately recognized Riker's role as a service dog. One attendant even promised to personally ensure their flight went smoothly. This reassurance brought James his first moment of peace all day. As the plane ascended, James let out a sigh of relief. He tried to relax, but his years of military service made it hard to fully lower his guard. Despite everything, he felt a small, hopeful calm as the journey continued. James was no stranger to difficult situations. As a Marine, he had completed 3 grueling tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, facing dangers that few could imagine. Yet, the toughest battles weren't on the battlefield. They were in his own mind. After returning home to Virginia, James was diagnosed with PTSD, and life became a constant struggle. Nightmares, flashbacks, and anxiety attacks took their toll. But Riker changed everything. Trained to support veterans with PTSD, Riker was more than just a dog to James. He was his lifeline. Whenever James felt a panic attack coming, Riker would sense it and rush to his side, grounding him in the present. This deep bond between James and Riker was unbreakable. James knew Riker had saved his life more times than he could count. Everything seemed calm until, mid-flight, Riker started acting strangely again. He stood up, alert, his ears perked. James felt his pulse quicken, sensing something was wrong. Riker wasn't one to get anxious without reason. Following Riker's intense gaze, James noticed a man at the front of the plane. The man was fidgeting nervously and glancing toward the cockpit repeatedly. James's heart raced as he realized something might be seriously wrong. James's military instincts kicked in. Something wasn't right. Riker, his trained sniffer dog, was alert and uneasy, and James knew to trust his instincts. Quietly, he signaled a flight attendant and pointed out the man at the front of the plane who seemed unusually nervous. The attendant took note and promised to look into it. Moments later, the captain's voice came over the intercom. The plane was making an unscheduled landing due to a security concern. Passengers whispered anxiously as the plane descended quickly to an isolated airport. Once they landed, law enforcement boarded the aircraft and swiftly apprehended the suspicious passenger. It turned out the man was trying to smuggle illegal substances on board. Thanks to Riker's keen senses and James's quick action, the threat was stopped before it could escalate. As the tension lifted, the passengers erupted in applause, cheering for James and Riker as heroes. The flight resumed smoothly, and they finally arrived in California. When James stepped off the plane, he was greeted with even more applause from his old Marine unit, who had come to welcome him. The reunion was filled with heartfelt hugs, laughter, and a few tears, marking a joyful end to an unexpected adventure. But as they talked, a troubling pattern began to emerge. James discovered that several of his fellow veterans had faced similar problems with airlines when traveling with their service dogs. It wasn't just a rare issue. There was a widespread lack of understanding and respect for veterans and their service animals. This new information ignited a strong determination in James. He realized that the problem went beyond just his own experience with Riker. It was a matter affecting all veterans who depended on their service dogs for daily support. During the reunion, General Thompson, a high-ranking military official, approached James. Having heard about the incident on the flight, the general was impressed with James's quick thinking and leadership. He offered James a role in a new initiative focused on improving the lives of veterans, particularly those dealing with PTSD. James accepted the offer eagerly, ready to make a difference. Back home in Virginia, James's mission grew into something bigger. He launched a campaign to shine a light on the challenges veterans face when traveling with their service dogs. The campaign quickly took off, with the hashtag #VeteranRights going viral on social media. Support poured in from all corners: veterans, their families, and even some airline executives who wanted to see real change. The campaign gained massive momentum when a leaked airline memo revealed a troubling pattern of discrimination against service animals, igniting public outrage. James's efforts soon led to a crucial meeting with key policymakers in Washington, D.C. Armed with a wave of public support, James made a powerful case for stronger regulations to protect the rights of veterans and their service animals. Thanks to his relentless work, new laws were proposed, promising that no veteran would have to face the discrimination he had endured. Throughout this journey, Riker was always by James's side, offering unwavering support and comfort. Their deep bond, built on years of mutual trust and reliance, had not only saved James's life, but also ignited a movement that would benefit countless veterans across the nation. James had fought many battles, but with Riker by his side, he had won one of the most meaningful ones. So, what are your thoughts about this heart-touching story? Share your opinions in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our new animal stories. Your support means the world to us.